Ever feel it? That deep hum beneath the surface of everyday life, a sense that things are about to shift fundamentally. Forget the fleeting headlines, I'm talking about a specific moment, June 30th, 2025. Now, this isn't about fear-mongering or some vague prediction. This date, friends, is a marker, a point in time that will starkly reveal who's truly listening and who's just caught in the static. You know the drill, the world's screaming for your attention, right? A constant barrage, what to buy, who to be, what to worry about next. It's like trying to hear a gentle melody in the middle of a rock concert. And most of us, we're looking for big flashing signs, a divine intervention with fireworks. But what if the most profound messages arrive quietly, in the spaces between the noise? What if the real signal, the one that truly matters, is a whisper? And that whisper isn't just a heads up, it's an invitation to prepare. An invitation many will miss because they're tuned to the wrong frequency, expecting a shout when truth often speaks softly. Look, I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. I'm here to share what's been made clear from a place of deep conviction. This isn't about some secret club, it's about an inner readiness, something you can build, starting today. The truth is, when your mind is a cluttered attic of opinions and anxieties, there's no room for wisdom to enter. If your heart's already full of what you want to happen, you'll miss what's actually unfolding. Think of it like this: the wisest folks, the ancient masters, they didn't train in chaos. They trained in stillness. Why? Because only an empty cup can be filled. Only in that profound inner quiet can the real truth pour in. So, what's this Nour truth I'm talking about? It's that real, soul-level change doesn't just zap you from the sky. It's not an accident. It's a consequence of silent, steady groundwork. It starts when you consciously choose to tune out the clamor and tune into that subtle inner voice. When you start making small, consistent shifts, choosing calm over conflict, choosing mindful action over mindless scrolling, choosing genuine connection over superficial engagement. These aren't just random good habits, they're the evidence that your inner self is waking up to something bigger. What's that call? It's the quiet pull of your own higher purpose urging you, get ready. Align yourself, clear out the junk. It doesn't need to yell. Shouting is for those who aren't really listening. Whispers, they're for those who've learned the art of profound attention. Imagine an Olympic athlete, years of silent, grueling practice, long before they step into the arena. When they win, people see the glory, the talent. They don't see the thousands of hours of unseen dedication. It's the exact same with your spirit. When June 30th arrives, don't be surprised to see some people navigate the changes with an incredible sense of peace and direction, while others seem to crumble into confusion and despair. The difference isn't luck, it's that those who are steady already heard the whisper. They were already walking their path, building their inner foundation. They didn't need a crisis to tell them to get real. They were already real. The world loves to wait for proof. But spiritual growth, that's about becoming the proof. If you're constantly waiting for a sign, you'll never be the sign. This divine whisper isn't a memo to be filed away. It's a call to rise, to act, to shed the old skins of who you thought you were, the attachments that weigh you down, the goals that lead you nowhere. This whisper is, in essence, an act of profound grace, a chance to get your house in order before the energetic shift becomes undeniable. You don't need the sky to fall to start believing, you just need to honor that pull in your soul and act on it. This is why stillness is so potent. Not just because it's quiet, but because it's where you develop the capacity to receive what the busy mind can't grasp. There are truths that only a settled heart can truly absorb. So, the real training isn't about how loud you can proclaim your beliefs, but how deeply you can listen. Ask yourself, when life throws a curveball, do you just react, or do you pause and reflect? When fear surfaces, do you scramble, or do you breathe and center yourself? When everyone's rushing one way, do you just follow, or do you stand firm and ask, why? Those who've truly heard the whisper understand that life isn't about knee-jerk reactions, it's about conscious responses. But you can't respond with wisdom if you haven't first cultivated that inner silence. So many are living on autopilot, tossed around by their emotions, blinded by their fears, tangled in their attachments. And when the real tests come, they panic, wondering why nobody warned them. But the warning came as a whisper. They were just too tuned out to catch it. Discipline, in this context, isn't punishment. It's the deliberate sharpening of your awareness. It's about creating clarity. A warrior trains daily not because they're expecting a fight every morning, but because readiness is their way of life. If you wait for the world to shake before you start strengthening your spirit, you've waited too long. Your true preparation is happening right now, in how you greet the day, how you interact with others, how you manage your energy, how you choose your thoughts. These seemingly small things, They are the very bricks and mortar of your inner sanctuary, and when the winds of profound change blow, only those sanctuaries built on a foundation of truth will remain standing. This whisper also calls for humility. It's easy to collect knowledge, to read all the books, to talk a good game, but knowledge without lived experience is just a heavier load to carry. Do you live what you claim to know? Do you walk with integrity when no one's watching? The whisper isn't for the ego, it's for the spirit, and the spirit only embraces what it's humble enough to truly embody. You've got to let go of the need to be seen, the urge to always be right, the craving for applause. All that, it's just more noise drowning out the signal. Come June 30th, what's been hidden will come to light. But those who've trained in the quiet depths won't be caught off guard. They won't hit the panic button. They'll take a breath and keep moving forward. Why? Because their compass isn't set by external chaos but by internal alignment. Their strength isn't from knowing all the answers, but from consistent inner work. Their peace isn't from an absence of challenges, but from the presence of a deep, guiding purpose. And that's what this whisper has always been about: your purpose. The divine doesn't nudge you for mere amusement, it calls you to elevate, to grow. But you can't rise if you're still clinging to what's keeping you down. So many say they want change, yet they white-knuckle their comfort zones. You want transformation, you have to be willing to release the fear, the old stories, the outdated beliefs. Only then can you become light enough to truly ascend. So, listen with your whole being, not just your ears. See with your awareness, not just your eyes. Walk by your inner alignment, not just by what you can see in front of you. If you feel that inner tug, that sense that something profound is shifting, that a revelation is near, don't brush it aside. Don't put it off. Start now. Come back to your breath. Come back to your inner discipline. Come back to your truth. The whisper before the storm isn't something you chase externally. It's a state of being you cultivate internally. And those who become it won't fear the storm. They'll move through it like it's a gentle breeze, because they're already carried by a far greater current, the current of the divine. True readiness doesn't kick in when the danger signs are obvious to everyone. It begins when your soul first senses the shift. What the untrained eye misses, the attuned spirit has already registered. There's a world of difference between reacting to life and aligning with it. Reaction keeps you a step behind, always scrambling, always thrown off by change. Alignment means you're never truly surprised. You might not know all the details, but your intuition, your inner knowing has already given you the heads up. That persistent unease you might be feeling, that sense that something big is on the horizon, that's not just anxiety, that's your spirit saying, it's time, get ready. What unfolds on June 30th, 2025 isn't random, it's a culmination, an intersection of energies, choices, and truths that have been building for a long time. The world might react as if it's sudden, but the wise will know this has been in motion for ages. Universal laws don't bend or break. Every choice, every intention, every repeated action, it's all been noted. The universe is never asleep, and on sacred days like this, the scales tip, not as punishment, but as the natural fulfillment of these laws. You reap what you sow, you become what you tolerate, you navigate what you prepare for. Preparation isn't a one-time event, it's a way of living. Those who stand strong on that day won't be the ones who had a sudden epiphany that morning. They'll be the ones who've walked the quiet, often unseen, path of inner work, disciplining their thoughts when no one was looking, choosing kindness when cruelty was easier, holding on to their inner light even when darkness felt more comfortable. These are the souls who prepared, not from fear but from a deep knowing. They knew that when the winds change direction, your feet must already be firmly planted. You can't learn to stand when the hurricane is already upon you. You must already be grounded. And how do you do this? Not by accumulating more stuff, but by releasing what no longer serves. Not by building thicker outer walls, but by fortifying your inner core. So many are chasing the same things: wealth, status, recognition. But what's their true value? When the planet's very vibration shifts upward, what good are trophies if your own spirit feels like lead? You can't cheat spiritual gravity. When the earth ascends, only those with light hearts will rise with it. This means letting go of bitterness, resentment, unhealed wounds. If this is the preparation, this is the cleansing, because when that energetic veil thins, and it will, everything hidden will be laid bare. You can't fake peace, you can't fake discipline, you can't pretend to be aligned. On that day, your energy will speak volumes, louder than any words you could utter. The world will react. It always does, to headlines, to crisis, to fear. But the prepared spirit doesn't react, it responds. It understands that true timing isn't about the clock on the wall, but about resonance. When that divine message came, everything changes. It wasn't about your daily schedule, it was about your soul's unfolding timeline. There are seasons in your life you don't choose, they choose you. And this coming season, it's not for dreaming, it's for doing. Not for the mind that merely wishes, but for the soul that actively moves. You have to ask yourself, am I still making excuses? Am I still waiting for someone else's permission? Am I still arguing with the truth I feel deep inside? Because the window for questioning is closing, the time for committed action is now. This preparation will look different for each person. For one, it might be finally choosing stillness over constant stimulation. For another, facing buried pain. For some, it's about severing ties with energy vampires. For others, it's forgiving what felt unforgivable. These aren't minor adjustments, these are inner revolutions. These are the steps that build an inner world resilient enough not to shatter when the outer world shifts, and it will shift. Not to break you, but to reveal you, because everything hidden is destined to rise. And when that unveiling occurs, you'll see two kinds of people, those terrified by what's revealed, and those who've trained in truth. Think of a seed. It doesn't fight the darkness of the soil, it trusts that its growth is part of a sacred cycle. It embraces the process knowing light is inevitable. In the same way, your preparation has likely been happening quietly. Maybe you couldn't explain why you started feeling different, why old habits lost their appeal, why shallow chatter became unbearable. Maybe you found yourself withdrawing from drama and conflict. This isn't by chance, this is spiritual alignment. This is your deeper self responding to the approaching change. It's like your soul is packing for a journey your mind doesn't fully grasp yet, and that's okay. Let your soul lead. Many will scramble at the last minute, binge watching spiritual content, desperately trying to fix ingrained habits, frantically seeking a sense of safety. But you can't rush alignment, you can't microwave mastery, you can't download discipline. These are forged in the fires of consistent effort over time. If you've already started on this path, even if you feel imperfect, understand this: you are ahead of the curve. Keep going. Keep building, because the energy of what's coming cannot be carried by a self that refuses to evolve. This shift isn't interested in your persona, it's interested in your essence, and that essence is either free or it's trapped. The preparation is the sacred act of setting it free. Every true warrior sharpens their blade long before any battle, not from fear, but from a sense of honor and readiness. The spiritual warrior doesn't wait for external alarms to get serious, they are always ready. Not because they seek conflict, but because genuine peace requires inner strength. On June 30th, that balance of strength and peace will be tested. Those with no inner peace will be swamped by the sheer energy. Those with no inner strength will be paralyzed by the speed of it all. So you must train now. Train your thoughts to find stillness. Train your emotions to respond with grace. Train your body to embody discipline. Train your spirit to trust what you cannot yet see. Let go of the illusion that you have endless time. Time is never guaranteed, but presence that's always available. And in true presence, anything becomes possible. Your future isn't waiting for you to wish for it, it's waiting for you to act towards it. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. And from that presence, you must build the habits that feed your soul, build the boundaries that protect your peace, build the rituals that awaken your deeper awareness. These are the very foundation stones you will stand upon when everything around you begins to transform. And what about those who ignore this call, who dismiss the whisper saying, "It's just another day, nothing will happen"? They are the ones who will be most profoundly shocked. Not because they weren't warned, but because they chose not to listen. Denial doesn't shield you from truth, it only postpones your preparation. And when truth arrives, it doesn't ask if you're ready, it simply reveals itself. If you've trained, you'll see it as a teacher. If you haven't, you'll experience it as a threat. This isn't a judgment from on high, it's the natural outcome of your own resistance or readiness. So, prepare not in fear but in reverence. Prepare not because catastrophe is looming, but because a great awakening is. Prepare not for the world's panicked reaction, but for your soul's magnificent expansion. There's a profound beauty that unfolds when you are truly ready. A power that activates when you align, a peace that settles when you surrender. And this peace, this power, this beauty, it's not found in the external noise, it's discovered in your consistent practice, in your conscious breath, in your cultivated stillness, in your sacred silence. Stop looking to the outside world for your safety. True safety isn't out there, it's an inside job. It's in how you respond to chaos. It's in how you treat others when no one is watching. It's in the choices you make when it would be far easier to stay asleep. Every single step you take today builds your capacity for tomorrow's test. Every moment you choose conscious discipline, you prepare to rise with the changing energies. Every time you say no to what depletes you, you say yes to what prepares you. There are two ways to meet June 30th. with bewildered surprise or with grounded certainty. One leads to confusion, the other to clarity. And clarity doesn't come from predicting the future, it comes from preparing your presence. The energy of that day is already on its way. The current is undeniably building. You might not see it with your physical eyes, but if you're quiet enough, your spirit can feel it. Honor that feeling, don't numb it. Don't distract yourself from it. Let it guide you to your inner training ground. Let it pull you deeper into your practice. Let it be your constant reminder. What you do in silence is never ever wasted. It is stored. It is remembered. It is multiplied. And when the world around you begins to shake, you will stand firm, not because you were reacting, but because you were ready. Not because you were seeking safety, but because you ever were safety. There's a massive misunderstanding out there about how real transformation actually works. Many think that just wanting change is enough, that setting intentions or writing down goals somehow magically obligates the universe to deliver. But sacred laws don't bend to mere wishes, they respond to alignment. Energy doesn't follow what you hope for, it follows who you are. When the divine insight came that everything changes on June 30th, 2025, it wasn't a memo for the hopeful dreamers, it was a signal for those who have actively aligned themselves with truth in their thoughts, their words, and their actions. The big mistake, assuming that a clear desire equals a ready state of being. But the universe, the divine intelligence, it doesn't listen to your surface chatter. It tunes into the actual vibration you're putting out. You can say you want peace but live in constant internal conflict. You can claim you want abundance but operate from a place of fear and lack. You can talk about transformation but resist the discipline it requires. That's the disconnect. That's why that divine whisper is only truly heard by those whose daily habits, inner self-talk, and unspoken intentions are all harmonized, vibrating at the same frequency. And that frequency isn't found just by thinking about it, it's discovered and lived through genuine alignment. Alignment isn't about faking it, it's not about trying to be spiritual or putting on a show of external rituals for others. True alignment is invisible to the casual observer, but absolutely undeniable to the universe. You can't fool energy, you can't fake resonance. You either vibrate at the level of truth or you don't. And when that energetic gateway opens on June 30th, 2025, it won't give a damn about what you've intended to become. It will only amplify what you've already are. That's a core spiritual reality. Energy amplifies alignment, not just words. Your personal energy field will be the key. The quality of your inner life will be the ultimate measure. This is why true preparation isn't about talking more, it's about becoming more. If you say you want peace but consistently choose drama, you're out of sync. If you say you're ready for more but live from a mindset of not enough, you're out of sync. If you call yourself a spiritual person but indulge in gossip, complaint, and resentment, you're out of sync. These aren't small details, these are spiritual fractures. And when a flood of divine energy pours onto the planet, it looks for coherence. It elevates those who are whole. It advances those who are deeply honest, not necessarily perfect, but radically honest with themselves. The world often cheers for the loudest, the most ambitious, the most polished exteriors. But the divine lifts the sincere, the aligned, the quietly disciplined. There's a sacred formula here: your thoughts, plus your words, plus your actions, equal your vibration. If your thoughts say, I trust, but your words are full of doubt and your actions are hesitant, your vibration is one of confusion. If your thoughts say, I am ready, but your words are defensive and your actions are impulsive, your vibration is one of dissonance. No matter how many times you repeat affirmations, if your actual being is fractured, your energy will remain out of tune with the incoming shift. And when your energy doesn't match the current, you get left behind. The planet isn't just changing on an intellectual level, it's rising vibrationally. The changes ahead aren't designed to favor the clever, they will favor the aligned. This is why many who seem outwardly prepared might find themselves completely overwhelmed, while those who've quietly done the consistent inner work will rise with an astonishing grace. There's a speed to spiritual energy that only a still heart can truly handle. There's a frequency so high that only the truly humble can tune into it. And on June 30th, when this frequency intensifies, your level of alignment won't be something you can suddenly edit or control, it will simply be revealed. Many will feel this as an intense pressure, a sense of being utterly exposed, because when the vibration of truth rises, anything false is forced to the surface. This is the divine audit, and it's not based on your performance but on your purity. It won't ask how many spiritual books you read, it will ask, did you actually live what you learned? It won't ask how many followers you gained, it will ask, how many times did you choose truth when no one was looking? It won't ask how loud your prayers were, it will ask, how still was your mind? Alignment is quiet, but its impact is world-changing. 3 pillars support true alignment: integrity, discipline, and surrender. Integrity means you live your truth even when it's uncomfortable. You say no to what betrays your soul, even if it means displeasing others. You keep your promises, not just to others, but crucially to yourself. Discipline means you do what needs to be done, not just what feels good in the moment. You get up when your body screams for more sleep. You breathe through anger instead of lashing out. You train your emotions, your focus, and your energy day in, day out. And surrender. That means you release the illusion of control, not from a place of weakness, but from profound trust. You stop trying to manipulate how things turn out. You stop forcing your own timing. You align with the divine flow and walk with it, even when your logical mind can't make sense of it. Most people try to strong-arm energy. They hustle and strain, trying to force their way into higher states. But force always creates resistance. Flow creates harmony. You have to learn to become the open space through which energy can move freely. This means clearing out the blockages: ego, fear, resentment, comparison, impatience. These things constrict your vibration. And when the world's frequency shifts, constricted energy simply can't cope, it shatters. But when you are in true alignment, you become like a perfectly tuned instrument, empty of ego, pure in intention, ready to be played by the breath of the divine. There's a sacred rhythm unfolding. And just as a flower blooms in its perfect season, so too does the soul. But you can't rush your blooming. You must diligently water your roots. Your roots are your discipline. Your roots are your silence. Your roots are the choices you make in those unseen moments. What you do when no one is watching determines your readiness for when everything is revealed. And on June 30th, the light won't just shine on the earth, it will shine through you, or it will expose what's unaligned within you. There will be no halfway. Energy doesn't tolerate ambiguity. It either flows through clarity or it halts at distortion. That's why this very moment, right now, is your training ground, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, because the law is straightforward, you rise to the level of your alignment, not your aspirations. You receive according to your preparation, not your proclamations. And you will be tested not by what you say you believe, but by who you have actually become. You absolutely must ask yourself, have I become the kind of person who can truly carry this next level of truth, of power, of responsibility? Or am I still just hoping the world outside will change while I remain fundamentally the same? You are not waiting for some external energy. That energy is waiting for you. The divine current has always been flowing. The real question is, can you hold it? Are you a worthy vessel? Or are you still leaking your precious life force through unconscious habits, scattered attention, and emotional reactivity? Your capacity to hold and channel energy is your spiritual maturity. And spiritual maturity has nothing to do with age. It's about awareness, accountability, and choosing growth over ego, again and again, especially when it's hard, most especially then. On June 30th, the divine pulse will intensify. Some will rise because their internal framework is strong and coherent. Others will tremble and crack because their foundation was built on illusion and neglect. You must build your inner temple now, not with fancy theories, but with consistent conscious breath, not with abstract concepts, but with embodied actions. You must clean the windows of your perception. You must sweep the floors of your soul. You must fling open the doors of your heart to let the true light pour in. Because energy, sacred, divine, undeniably real, does not flow into chaos, it flows into order. Not the rigid order of control, but the harmonious order of authentic alignment. This alignment demands honesty, a radical, loving honesty with yourself. You must look unflinchingly at your life and ask, where am I still out of tune with my deepest truth? Where am I still wearing a mask? Where am I still choosing fleeting comfort over lasting growth? The answers might not always be pretty, but facing them is what sets you free. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot align with the truth you're unwilling to confront. But when you do, when you see yourself with clear eyes and love yourself enough to make the necessary changes, the universe itself seems to shift in your favor, not as a reward, but because you've finally become resonant with its fundamental rhythm. And this is the ultimate key. Alignment isn't a one-time achievement, it's a state you return to moment by moment. Each breath is a doorway back to presence. Each choice is an opportunity to fine-tune your being, like a master musician tunes their instrument. You don't just tune it once and expect it to stay perfect. You tend to it daily, with care, with focused attention, with loving awareness. Because the music you play, the very life you live, depends entirely on your tuning. When that sacred day arrives, the world won't change you, it will simply reveal you. The incoming flood of energy won't create your alignment, it will magnify what's already there. And so, the most vital work you can possibly do is not to hope, not to fear, but to align, not in theory but in daily practice, not for applause but for truth, not to impress anyone but to authentically express your soul, not from fear of some imagined future, but from a profound reverence for the power of this present moment. Because in the end, it won't be your wishful thinking that carries you through any storm, it will be your groundedness. It will be your cultivated silence, it will be your unwavering alignment,